Kira and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a big unhaul for you guys. So you might notice different background. Me and my brother ended up actually switching rooms in my house, and so I have a bigger room, different room, and I figured since I had to bring all of my books from the basement where I was staying to this new room, which is in the upstairs, I had the chance to go through a lot of my books and just get rid of them. So yeah, I'm just going to show you what they are. So this first section of books is books that I had to buy for school, and for whatever reason I bought the actual book instead of renting it, and I don't want them anymore. So the first one is The Study of Language. This is the 4th edition, and I needed the 6th edition, which I didn't realize when I bought this. So not entirely sure if this is going to sell because it's out of date now, but this was for a class that the professor was not very good, and she was just like, "It's okay guys, I'm learning right along with you." Like, no, you're supposed to be teaching us the material. So it was a fun class because me and my friend just screwed around the whole time, but I don't need this ever again. Next up is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This was the first time that I read this this past year, this past semester even, when I took a British literature class, and I didn't mind the story, but I thought it was a little bit dumb, to be honest, because Frankenstein creates this monster, right? Creates this creature, and then the creature freaks him out, and he's like, "I'm just gonna run away and pretend that it doesn't exist, and it's probably fine." And so, like, stays away from the creature for like 5 years or something, and then the creature ends up like killing his whole family or whatever. But like, I don't know, it was also interesting that it was like a story within a story within a story at one point, but I'm not going to reread this ever, so I'm going to get rid of it. Next up is Achilles Prometheus Bound and Other Plays. Read this for my Literature of Suffering class, and it's a couple plays from Greek people, and I'm not going to read it again. Then we have the story of Gilgamesh. This translation is by David Ferry. I don't remember much about this one, honestly, but there's a character named Enkidu, and that was Gilgamesh's friend. And yep. Then we have Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. This is one that I actually enjoyed more of. It's about creative writing and how to write, and I'm just not going to use it ever again, so I figured I would give it to somebody who is going to use it. And then we have Beowulf. This translation is by Seamus Henley. Sorry, Seamus Henny. I don't know. Again, don't remember much about this story other than it's like a classic. It's translated work from Old English, and something about the mother creature and tearing off of arms, I think. Read this last year. Not going to read it again. Then we have No Exit and Three Other Plays by John Paul Sartre. This one was a weird play. If you've never read it, it's about 3 people who get trapped in this room, and they figure out that they're in hell, but they can't escape, and so, but then, I don't know, it was just weird. I didn't really enjoy it, and I didn't like what it was trying to say either, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Then we have The Keepsake for 1829. This was used again for my British literature class. It's basically short stories and poems from 1829 authors from the Romantic period, and I don't need this anymore. And last we have Cry the Beloved Country by Alan Paton. This was more of an exciting read. So it takes place in South Africa right before the apartheid begins. And so it's interesting to read it having the knowledge that the apartheid hadn't happened yet, but it was kind of in the lead up to it. And it really like predicts a lot of the things that happen in apartheid. So it was more interesting, but not enough that I would like to keep it. Sorry, there's one more for that section. The Private Memoirs and Confessions of a Justified Sinner by James Hogg. This was such a weird book that I had to read for the British literature class. So it's about this guy who like was raised super like religiously and like thought he was better than everybody else and thought he was justified or whatever. So then he like meets this person and begins listening to this person who engages in like higher up like academic conversation or whatever, and spiritual conversation, and then the guy, you as the reader kind of figure out it's probably the devil or something along those lines, because he starts to convince him, the main character, to like commit crimes and eventually murder people, and the main character starts blacking out and doesn't understand what's going, he like forgets what's going on and stuff. It was just so weird, and the first half is told from like almost like a different perspective, and there's so much like unnecessary information for the second half of the story. So the first half was so hard to get through. The second half was better, but it still like made no sense. Okay, so next I have two books that I have double copies of that I don't need. The first one is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I absolutely love this book, and I was thinking that I would keep a second copy to lend out to people, and then I'd be able to just keep my copy and like tab it up and write on it and stuff. But I decided I'm just going to get rid of it. And the other one is A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. I have two copies of this cover, and I don't want two copies of this cover. I want a copy of the new cover in Torch Against the Night, because I don't have the new cover yet. So I'm just going to get rid of this one. And then next up are just books that I don't want for different reasons. So the first one is I Am Number 4 and The Power of Six by Pittacus Lore. I got these as a present for my brother, who really enjoys this series, but it turns out he already has these two books, and so I'm going to get rid of them because he doesn't need double copies of them, and I don't really want to have the series. Then we have The Infinite Ground by Martin McInnes. I got this in a giveaway. I won it in a giveaway of a bunch of different books, and it sounds like it's a mystery horror thriller kind of thing. Probably more mystery thriller, but I'm just never going to read it. It's been sitting at least 2 years here, and I just never picked it up, and I just don't think I'm going to get to it. Then we have The Power by Naomi Alderman. This is one that I started at one point in time, and I just didn't really like it. It's about this world where women suddenly get this like electric power, and then therefore the social dynamic shifts and women have all of the power. So I appreciate the like what it's going for, but I just didn't really like the writing style, and there were so many characters to follow, and it jumped around a lot, and it was just confusing for me, and I'm not going to pick it back up. Then we have one that I'm really sad to get rid of, and that is The Last Namsara by Kristen. Still don't know if it's Kikarelli or Chicharelli or whatever. This is one because this cover is so cool, and I got it in a box, and so it has a letter from the author and a signed bookplate in here, but I just didn't love this book. It's about a girl who slays dragons, and I didn't like it, and I'm really upset. I'm really sad that I didn't like it because I really wanted to like it, and it's such a cool cover, but I just don't need it on my shelf if I'm never going to reread it and don't like it. Then I have Prisoner of War by Kurt Malzahn, and This Heart of Mine by Susan Elizabeth Phillips. I don't know if you guys remember, but I got both of these from our little free library that is close by my house last summer, but I'm just not going to read them at any point in time. I have no desire to read them, and I'm not entirely sure why I decided to pick them up, but I'm just going to get rid of them. And the last one is Kingdom Keeper's Shell Game. This is book 5 of the Kingdom Keeper series, and I'm getting rid of this because I have the paperback copy, and I decided that I want to get all of this series in paperback instead of hardcover, so I'm going to get rid of it. So those are all of the books that I am getting rid of. I'm hoping to sell most of them and make some more money for my Oxford trip. So comment down below, let me know if you've read any of those books. Are any of them worth keeping? You can try and convince me in the comments below. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!